Hey YouTube, it's EA, and I am back with a little bit more quarantine love by way of teaching tips. And this is teaching tip number 5. Teach your children a knowledge of self. Teaching your children a knowledge of self means to teach them who they are, where they come from, and their history and contributions to the world. In teaching your students knowledge of self, which is badly needed in our community, you will help them build their self esteem, self worth, and then they will have positive role models that look like them to look up to and to imitate. It will also um, help them to be motivated beyond money. I'm going to say that again. It will help them to be motivated beyond money. Many times that I've taught in the classroom, I've talked to children and asked them what they want to be. And most of their answers are motivated by a career that gets them lots of money. And sometimes it's unrealistic, especially for little boys, because most little boys want to go to the NBA or the NFL. Everybody's just not going to make it. However, if we gave them a knowledge of self, we would have more boys to strive to be like the George Washington Carvers who are outdoors, learning about plants, helping us to use plants in a way that can make us better, which leads me into my next point, plants and making us better. We will have children who study things like agriculture and food and teach us how to grow our own food and eat right and be healthy, because as a people right now during this little pandemic, we are learning that we are very unhealthy. So give your children a knowledge of self. Give them those tools that they can use to help us in times like this. When children are the center of their own reality, they learn best. In schools, we mostly learn about other people. And on top of that, not only do we learn about other people, when we learn about ourselves, it is usually in the area of a struggle. A struggle. A struggle. We're struggling right now. But it's usually in the area of a struggle. So we don't want our children to have the legacy of struggle, because our people have done so many things. There are so many options out there. And they only teach the same few little stories. You guys know what the stories are. But Black history, African American history, our history is just vast. It's vast. It's a lot that you can learn. Um, Another thing, it will build the spirit of love and support in us. See, if you start to study Black history, you will learn that we did a lot. We made a lot of contributions to this world. And with all the contributions that we've learned, we hardly ever get recognized. So if our children knew this, we could recognize each other. We could relate to some of our ancestors and elders that we know about, which will kill that spirit of fighting and agitation and envy and distrust and all that other stuff that we go through, because that's fostered by environments. So if we learn a knowledge of self, some of that, well, most of that will die down. The bickering, the arguing, the not getting along, that you think you this and I think I'm that, we will learn to see the beauty and the potential in each other the way that we're supposed to. When you have a knowledge of self, it builds cooperation over competition, because once you understand that we need each other and not one person can do everything, then you honor the things that another person can do for you, because it's going to make the way easier for you as well. A knowledge of self will also enable us to solve problems. Now, this is a big one for me, because I did not learn Black history until I was a young adult. and I started studying on my own. And I went through this period of time where I was enraged because nobody told me all of these good things about us. Just basically heard a lot of bad things about us. So it made me feel some type of way. But that's okay, because the more I learned, the calmer I became. And so with that, taught me how to solve problems. I no longer looked at my people like my enemies, and I knew what to say when. So it helps out with that. I remember there used to be a time when we went through periods that where we had unity, from what I read of the history. And there was a story that I heard about how we solve conflict. People would go to the kitchen table, families, and then talk it out. But if the subjects got too sensitive, they would send the children outside to play. I also learned that in some cultures, our cultures, you have what is called a council of elders. So say, there's a couple and they're not getting along, or any two people that's not getting along. You go get two people that you honor and respect from your side. The other person goes and get two people from their side. And you sit down and you listen to the wisdom of the elders, and you take that wisdom, you take that decision, and you live by it. We definitely need to go back to that, because some of our egos are really, really big. But they know what's best because they've already been down those roads. So the end of the road would provide a little success, or more success than we experience when we want to solve things on our own. So just the knowledge of self will make you want to do for self. And it builds loyalty and discipline. You become more disciplined. When I started learning knowledge of self, it made all of the difference in the decisions that I made after I became knowledgeable of myself. But back to school. We're off on the coronavirus vacation. So this is a wonderful time to pull out those books, start to read. You can get on YouTube. And a lot of people now are posting on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, Black Facts. People are talking about it. It's really becoming a big thing to us. We're waking up and we're going back to ourselves. So while you're at home, teach your children a knowledge of self. If you're Hispanic or if you're Asian or whatever, teach your children knowledge of self. Other ethnic groups do pretty well with this. We seem to have, a deficiency. So I'm really pushing it for us. And other cultures need to learn Black history as well. And one thing that I want to say before I end this talk is, please look up books that are about us, by us, because everybody don't say the same thing. Thank you for listening to me today. Have a great day. Don't forget to push that like and subscribe. Drop me some notes down at the bottom. Tell me what you think and share this message. Thank you very much. Peace. See you next time.